is JMak. Yeah, I'm taking a look over here. I'm still waiting on that Make It a Bud and Brain Lag match. I keep going back to it. But first up, let's bring this man to the stage, JMak. Years of age from Vancouver.
My name is JMak. I'm from Vancouver, Canada, and my in-game name is JMak. So I love speed. I've always loved speed, and even in cars and stuff like that. But after I got into motorcycles, the speed, even going 60 kilometers an hour on a bike feels like you're going 130. And the adrenaline from that, and especially on the track when you're going down a fast straight road doing 200 plus and you're hard braking into like a corner, and that's where the adrenaline is. And each time you go around, you can see the limit where you can push the bike, where you go even faster, and that's when I think it's the best.
And the man that JMak is going to be facing off with, TopaV. Just 16 years old from San Jose.
My name is Tommy Virtanen. My in-game name is TopaV, and I'm from San Jose. I became a soccer referee because I was always involved in the sport ever since I was a kid, but then due to some unfortunate foot problems, I had to quit the sport, but I still wanted to obviously be involved, so that is why I chose soccer refereeing. It's been pretty important being a referee, as you know, obviously I get to get the first-hand experience of the sport and control the game in a way, and also obviously I make a little bit of money from that, so that's a nice side bonus. You just gotta keep cool and trust your own judgment. You know, you are the referee, you have the ultimate power in the field, and you just gotta assert that power.
Well, Topa may be young in years, but definitely not young in experience. He plays on average 10 hours a day, he says. And foot injuries won't stop you from playing Summoner's War. That's the good news.
No, not at all. We get to see some of his experience. He shares that with everyone, with his viewers on Twitch. He streams. I even got a chance to meet him and his family last night when they arrived at the hotel, and I got to ask his dad, you know, what do you think about your son streaming on Twitch? You know, he's this younger guy. And his dad has nothing but respect for it, you know. He's like, you know, it's a very different day and age for kids his age. And they made the drive with him all the way down from San. It was like a 7-hour drive that they made last night. So it's nice to see his family supporting him, being here with him, because, you know, he is the youngest contestant here. And it's just, it's good to see that.
Sort of allows him to be as dedicated as he is. One of the interesting storylines is that JMak and Topa both share Zoiros as a favorite unit.
Well, let's see who gets to pick first.
Yeah, Zera's not typically a monster that you'll see, though, too much in RTA. He's mainly used a lot in PvE and maybe regular arena aspects, but not too much in RTA. We'll see, though.
Surprise, surprise, Ciara with pick one. Topa getting that chance to pick first.
Again, another Ciara first pick. We've seen that almost every single match this tournament, at least one time, Ciara has been the first pick.
But she does feel like the right pick as far as the balance that she has, and it sort of puts your opponent on the draft defensive right away.
Yeah, a lot of different things that you can build from Ciara. You can either build a speed burst team, you can build more supportive and not go like super YOLO right into it, and you can kind of just adjust your team according to your opponent's picks afterwards.
Topa describes his approach to the game as methodical, while JMak describes his as aggressive.
I like the Tessarian pick into the Wind Panda. So pulling Tessarian, though, makes me think from JMak's perspective that he's probably thinking about keeping Wind Panda in the game, so that way he can counter it with his Tessarian. Rather, that's one of those things that you got to think about. Okay, am I going to pull Tessarian, and then am I going to ban the Wind Panda, and is he also going to ban my Tessarian as well? And it's kind of those back and forth things you got to think about. But now it looks like he is bringing out Chilling and Tiana. What do you think about that?
Which is probably one of the best things that he could have done, because he needs to be able to give his Ciara a chance to apply bombs. Because if he's playing against Chilling and Tiana, his intention is probably to let Wusa go through. And we actually get to see one of the maybe we get to see one of the brand new
teasing
units that
us.
was just released. JMak teasing us with the Fire Paladin, however, retracts that, maybe just to show it off to the tournament. Chooses to go with Wind Fairy King.
Little trophy flash there.
Right.
Little Trophy Flash monster that came out just not even 24 hours ago, really. Both players thinking really hard about these bans. Again, there's a lot of extra things that go into this, and looks like they are down. So Chilling is going to stay in. That's going to provide a lot of immunity removal from Wusa, and TopaV does ban out Ganymede because he has pretty strong water monsters, and he's leaving in 3 fire monsters in JMak's monsters.
JMak made a smart decision picking the resist lead there, because we've seen it before where with Barian earlier up against Chaos, he was missing those bombs from Ciara, and that can really put you behind. And so if he does get those resists, that Tessarian lead kicks in, that could be enough to win this match.
I'm thinking Chilling's going to be the MVP in this one, though.
Topa has to single target units down. I'm not exactly sure which unit he wants to go for first. Now, Topa doesn't have an immunity buffer, and Okeanos is a very strong unit midway through a match when there's not a unit that can apply immunity. So he's gotta try and handle that. Hopefully, Varad.
Goes straight into turn 3, or skill 3 from Varad. Does not care about the immunity on
There's
any
the
other
bomb.
monster, but he resists the bomb. Perna able to stay alive, probably not get killed for this first round, looks like.
And that's such a big part of drafting Ciara, is getting those bombs in play. When they don't come through, lose the edge.
Yeah, when Ciara's bombs don't land, she's pretty much just a trophy monster at that point. She doesn't do much.
This is one of the issues that Topa was going to have with this match, is Okeanos getting the stun on multiple units without having immunity. Chilling, though, is still on the table and does scale really well throughout the match, especially if he keeps stealing buffs from Wusa. So Chilling, we're going to see a lot of damage from him, especially against Perna, Tessarian, and the Okeanos.
Able to land the Oblivion on Wind Panda there, Feng Yan, and get a Violent proc. Doesn't really need to put the Oblivion on Ciara, but just dealing the extra damage for it.
Smart play, resetting cooldowns on Ciara, so she's unable to apply the bomb, so that is Wusa will be able to original mortality up here in a moment.
And a revenge proc into a sleep from Wusa.
That was a
Again,
very,
it's not
very
something
lucky
you see.
revenge proc. But also the sleep effect being applied, that is very, very lucky.
Extremely lucky. Like we said in the previous match with Chiwu, you don't see those pioneers really landing that first turn or first skill sleep, and we've seen it quite a bit in this tournament so far. Able to take down the first life of the Perna there, but comes back, takes out Ciara, leaving just Feng Yan, Varad, and Chilling left from TopaV's end.
You can see JMak almost maybe hesitant about applying Wish of Immortality so that Wusa Chilling can't steal it. However, he did decide to play Wish of Immortality, giving the whole team immunity. That way Varad can't wake up to potentially lock down his inhibitor. Topa's still in a really strong position though with Wind Panda.
A triple stun from Okeanos, and I don't know, I think this match is going in JMak's favor. As long as he's able to take down those 2 more water monsters, he doesn't really have to worry too much about the Wind Panda when it comes to...
Chilling's gonna do a lot of damage though. If he kills that Perna, Chilling is gonna scale really well, and if he keeps stealing the immunity and the shield from Wusa, I don't know, you could see a lot of damage from Chilling here within the final moments.
Able to land the skill reset on Varad as well. Keeps landing those Oblivions on Feng Yan there. Gets the buff from Chilling. He really needs to take down that Perna quick before he gets his
Topa
revive
looking
back.
for a defense break out of his Wind Panda here. So if he were to apply defense break, there's no doubt that Chilling would be able to get the kill on Perna. He could very well get it right here though.
There it is, almost
Close.
very, very close, taking out that Perna. And just barely living by a sliver is the Feng Yan, able to take it down now from Wusa. And here we go. Here is the final turn
Topa
for
really
Perna.
situation though. He has Varad. He gets the additional turn. He's able to play the freeze before Wusa plays Wish of Immortality.
Didn't land a
That's
single
resist.
freeze. That is devastating for Topa.
Lead that kicked in there right here. That JMak picked early on. We knew that resist lead was going to have an impact, and it's definitely paying off for him because he had a choice: either play accuracy or resist. And he chose resist.
Resistance lead is so important in RTA, and you can see why right here. If that freeze would have landed, it could have been a completely different game. Like you said, that Chilling could come back and scale tremendously, but it just wasn't in the cards for Topa.
Bit of bad luck there for Topa, going 0 for 3 with the freezes, and you saw the look on his face. That was the turning point in the match.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll see how Topa bounces back from that. Again, we got the first pick being Sierra from JMak this time, which Topa had it last time. And we'll see how Topa decides to counter it.
Yeah, his Sierra, the first unit that he lost, I believe, in that last matchup.
Yep.
Wasn't able to land the bombs.
So down to 10 seconds already, hasn't put a single monster up, brings 2 resistance leads. He decides that he does not want to fight against resistance leads. So he takes both of them this time.
Did you like his composition in the last match, Koopa? Topa's?
I did. I almost would have liked to have seen the Chilling perform there at the end. I kind of wish he would have kept going with it. I felt like the Chilling actually may have had a chance
to come back and solo it.
Especially if we had to play Wish of Immortality to get to his shield. It kind of depends. It's kind of situational. I wish we could have seen that though.
So you're saying that you should have, Topa might have been able to win, and had he played it out a little bit longer, made it a little bit more exciting at least.
Chance.
I like the Amelia choice though from Topa on this one. Solid monster in RTA. And
if I ever see her, like she's usually over almost anyone. I have to ban her. She just offers way too much on the table. She's very tanky. She applies immunity.
It's hard to lock her down too because she gains so many turns.
It's very tough.
But JMak going with the lockdown composition with Ganymede and Okeanos, and as well trying to get the first turn lead and Bastet, and possibly a really fast Wusa as well. From JMak, if you're in this situation, you're waiting for Topa to make his last selection. Who are you planning on banning right now, Koopa?
Man, I mean, in this situation, you kind of feel like you'd want to let the Tessarion go through because JMak doesn't have a single unit with passives on his team. And so that was smart from JMak. Even though Topa picked it with the Thor, Topa has guaranteed resist lead, but unfortunately Tessarion's not going to be able to effectively use a Bolivian up against anything in this match.
Right, and I think it's interesting though on JMak's side, having a double resist lead showing on Topa's side, that he still decides that he wants to go with a lockdown composition. And the bans are down though. Wusa is out from JMak, and Topa had his
I think that was smart. Topa's trying to do to JMak basically what JMak did to Topa in the first match. So JMak no longer has his immunity buff. He no longer has resist lead. Topa in the position with the resist lead. And so I think this is going to be a good chance for Topa to get a win.
But what JMak does have is the 1-0 lead after having won the first game in the match. And Topa did not like the way things started off here.
So here we go. We have Ganymede up. Of course, did you see that? He actually used the third skill on Tessarion. That was a complete 100% miscue. He leaves Hathor with, he had the Okeanos. He had no other reason why, but I would say keep that skill, keep that third skill, so that way you can use it on Varad maybe next time.
This may be a level of strategy we'll just never understand.
Maybe a level of strategy we don't understand.
Topa not looking to play recovery for his team, just trying to go as hard onto the Ciara as possible because he does not have an immunity buffer for his team. He does not want the Ciara to tee off on his team. With the Violent proc, possibly able to throw a bomb, JMak now choosing who do I pick, and he throws it on Varad. There's Promise Time Varad taking the stun. Sweet Dreams and the resist from the Fairy King. JMak, even though he chose a speed lead, still must have a ton of just resist on the runes with these units.
another violent proc from Ganymede.
It's almost like he always gets in violent fire. Most units that I go up against, whenever he plays sealed magic, he always has a chance to violent proc into Torrent.
I feel with having Okeanos and Ganymede both on the same team, having those skill reduction skills, it's super, super
Yeah,
strong.
not Torrent, Ventilate. I said the wrong skill. So many skills in this game. Just there it is, Wind Fairy King ventilating the Okeanos. Topa in a really tough position right now. Those bombs on Wind Panda going to do a lot of damage, even though Wind Panda is very, very tanky.
A full team stun from the Okeanos as well, even with having a resistance lead.
And that's just one of the crazy things about the Fairy King is that when you have units with really strong cooldowns, being able to play Ventilate to reset those cooldowns, it just offers so many different options that you can do midway through a match. JMak making a really smart decision to play that with his Okeanos and kind of eliminating any type of community booster from Topa. And that is the end of it. JMak will go forward to the quarterfinals.
And face off against Hypnotimac.
What do you know? Two other guild mates going head to head. Probably not what they planned on, but that's the way it's going to be.
A little bit of cannibalism there for the Mac Guild, unfortunately, given the draw here in round one. Not exactly what they had scripted, but speaking of things they didn't script, Topa just getting crushed there in the 2-zip sweep by JMak.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessarily Topa's fault 100%. He did have a little bit of a bad luck.
The
with
0 for 3 on the freeze.
Yeah, the freeze. That could have won him the first round at least, and then brought it into 3 rounds total, and that could have given him a chance. But JMak did actually play pretty solid throughout both rounds actually. So definitely somebody to see to give Hypnotimac a solid performance in the round 2 here.
Yeah, he's headed into the round of 8. Do you feel as though composition-wise that might be in part to attribute Topa's uphill struggle kind of throughout that match? Like, was it a riskier approach that he took?
I mean, they were taking each other's units, and so sometimes it's really tough no matter what when someone's picking your units. It's sometimes tough to get out of that situation based on who's picking first.
All right, let's send it down to Maria, who's standing by with the winner of that match, JMak.
JMak, you said you play this game about 12 to 16 hours a day. So what do you think is your strongest suit in terms of how you've approached this game?
Well, I'm actually really lucky. I get to play at work, so I do farm and play at work. And then I'm just I put a lot of hours in it, and I'm happy I have a really good guild. All the Macs that were in my guild, they were able to help me out and prepare me for this and help me become a better player.
Well, which opponent that has already advanced to the quarterfinals do you think you're most prepared to face?
Weirdly enough, it's actually who I'm facing next, which is Hypnotimac. He's my guildie. I've been playing him all week, and yeah.
All right, well, good luck in that one.